Moving on to the final story of this year's showbiz. Hot talk. Let's talk about Jules and the fact that she's come out and said her stance when it comes to friendships. Now, we all remember Jules from her time during Over 25. She was one of four very gorgeous women who, were on that podcast, and they entertained us. They introduced us to everything. Basically, watching these women made our lives a lot easier, because there are things we wouldn't be able to like properly articulate or put words to and really like understand what you're going through, but then you'd watch them and you're like, wait, that's exactly it. Oh, that's the verbiage for what I was trying to express. And they gave us such insight on life. I don't know, the first time I even had this, do you remember the Savannah cider, the beers? The first time I had one is because I saw them drinking them at on the show. Like, they were such an inspiration to a lot of us, and we grew up watching them as the first few YouTubers that there were that had a female channel. Now, over time, they ended their relationship stroke their podcast last year. They did like a whole outro. It was very sweet to see them, for the last time. And all of them have now gone off on their separate ways. You have one doing money and finance stories, another one doing fashion content, another one I really don't know what she's doing, but like mommy content, I think. And then there's Jules, who has like 2 or 3 podcasts. Like, she is moving fast, okay? Anyway, so when she was talking on their show and she was asked about like friendships, she said this. She said, there are friends that go through a season, and sometimes you meet someone with the intention of being friends, but the more you spend time together, you realize you don't align. Like, there is an invisible disconnect. And in my adult life, I find myself in that space where I feel like we're outgrowing each other. Is that what's happening? Continues to say, I don't have a replacement. The end. She basically said, in the long and short of it is, she said that maintaining a friendship is difficult. She said it requires a lot of trust, a lot of communication and openness, a lot of understanding peculiarities, because women are different. We're all different in our different ways. So for me to understand your peculiarity and to be okay with that, and to be understanding enough to let you be your very best self while I am being my very best self, without inhibiting your growth or your changes, and just being with you through all of these seasons. Like, most friendships do not withstand time in that way. We're okay right now because, oh yeah, we are in the same environment 24/7, or at least many days in a week. We're in the same environment, and therefore we become friends because of that. But sometimes when you really, really think about it, you ask yourself, if this one thing wasn't tying me to this one person, would we still be friends? And then you start going down the line and you start to ask yourself, am I giving enough energy to this relationship? And you realize that, oh yeah, maybe that's not for me. Maybe we're just acquaintances, And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, it feels like a lot more now, we're tending to isolate ourselves and to cutting people off really quickly without necessarily being patient enough to just like see where time goes. Like, you don't have to force the end of a relationship. Just like let it just like go do its course. The course will just open itself up as it goes. I feel like sometimes as women especially, we tend to cut people off really quickly. You're not letting it develop and become what it is. People who are in 20-year relationships now, they didn't just end their relationship simply because there was like, oh yeah, right now you're doing finance and me, I'm doing TikToks, so we're in different places, we don't understand each other. No, you're doing TikToks, I'm doing finance. Let's come together, find a way where we just have the mutuality of our friendships. If we need some space alone, it's okay, take your space and then come back. I don't feel the need to cut off people this quickly. And I feel like it's actually a toxic thing whenever you are cutting people off of your. Kwani, you always the one cutting people off. Go serious.
Yeah, I think the thing you don't like grasp until you're a bit older is friends are seasonal. Like, there's a friend for each season, and it's okay for you to outgrow that season. If you find maybe we were friends, when I was broke, when I was not in the money, and now I'm making a little bit of money, sometimes you feel a bit guilty. You're like, now,
you have to carry this person.
Yeah, and it becomes kind of a burden if, now you're the one trying to foot for everything so that you remain friends. Sometimes it's okay to let go. Sometimes it's okay to recognize I was there, but now I'm here. And it might sound cruel, uliomoka ukatuacha, but it's not like that. It's, you should allow me to
Omoka na niwache kidogo.
Exactly. You should allow me to find new friends in new circles. You should allow me, as if you're a friend, you should be okay with recognizing, hey, I kind of get it. You know, now we're in different circles. Now we're in different jobs. We're in different positions. It's my time. But now, the disconnect is usually when one person feels a bit slighted, or you feel very guilty that you're now in a different position than your friend. And, you know, compromising those two, or making those two come together, you're like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay for me to make friends, because it wouldn't make sense for me to be like friends with the person I was friends with when I was a teenager. We're in different spaces right now. We don't even live in the same country. You know, like, allow yourself to recognize that different seasons will come with different friends, and that is absolutely okay. There are friends you carry through all the seasons, and that is still okay. But yeah, it's difficult, but it's life.
There's a lot of maturity and wisdom that comes from understanding that we are in different phases. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to have this very dramatic reason why we stopped being friends, or why we have fallen apart for a bit. Like with most people, it's like, do we have to have a super dramatic story? Can we just like be, okay, yeah, we fell apart because, you know, we lived in different towns. Then, like, hakuna story refu. Or we fell apart because, you know, or we've had a little bit of distance because we joined different careers. You know, we have to.